Hello and welcome to the 81st episode of the Retrotopia podcast. My name is Alan and today I am ecstatic because we are taking a trip back into the spooky realm of Castlevania and talking to you about Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the PlayStation 1. And we are doing so because of the Patreons, because this is the winner of the Q2 Patreon poll, and I'm taking it personally. I feel like this is a gift to me, because if you've been listening to this show for any amount of time, you know I am a huge die-hard Castlevania fan, so when this won the poll, I was, well, to say I was chuffed is a bit of an understatement. So looking forward to getting into it. And if you can't wait to get to the Castlevania Symphony of the Night talk, and who could blame you, just go ahead and skip ahead about 20 minutes or so, and you'll get into the game chat. But I encourage you to stick around. We've got some things to discuss. Let me talk to you, as LA Knight would say. Socials, we have them. You should look at them. You can find all of them at linktree/retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/retrotopia. Find your social media platform of choice and like, comment, subscribe, share, get the word of mouth going, tell a friend about us. Let's get some more people in on this party. You can also find our new merchandise. That's right. At TeePublic. I think you can find the link on Linktree, but between Brian and Sam, they've come up with some fantastic Retrotopia designs that you can have decked out on t-shirts, hoodies, I think, mugs, all sorts. Go and check it out and get some of that Retrotopia drip, which is, I think, what the kids are saying these days. You can also find our Patreon, of course, which you can join for free and do things like vote in polls, like the one that caused this episode to come into existence. You can also get our extra shows, our, I should know these by now, our quick plays, that's the ticket. Our quick play mini reviews, little 20-minute slice of single host game reviewage there, which is always delightful. You can comment on the main show. You can listen to Retro Bites 15 whole days early with an extra Patreon topic tacked on as well, which is basically our gaming talk show, I guess. And we're always thinking about extra things. We've got a few things in the oven at the moment that we're considering for our Patreon offerings. Of course, if you want to add a little extra buck to your support there, for $2, you get all of the above. You get a shout out on the show. You also get to pick a game for our quick play series, and a host of your choice will review the game that you throw at them. And some of my absolute favorite episodes, those, because you guys don't enough keep us on our toes, so that's delightful. And being Patreons, of course, you get to comment on the episode in a little section that we like to call the 9-bit banter box, because, like Castlevania's library, it's culturally elegant. Alright, let's see what we've got here. First up on the banter box is Mr. Hooley, who says, what game do you think had the biggest impact on you, whether it be from the story itself, or from the personal experience you had with it, such as playing with someone special to you or special memories? Cool, that's a question and a half right out of the gate. You're really going to make me think about this one. Games that had the biggest impact on you. I mean, aside from the obvious, of course, being something like Sonic the Hedgehog, which is, one of the earliest games that really hooked me to the genre. There's a couple of games I can think of. I have fond memories of, and I can't remember what game it was because I didn't actually play it all that much, but there was a certain PGA Tour game on the Mega Drive, or the the Megasys, back in the day, that I have fond memories of my dad and my uncles all gathered around my nan's house, who's now no longer with us, playing this golf game together. And it was kind of hilarious because, yeah, I suppose I think of them as old boys, but back then they were probably younger than I am now. But watching them try and figure out a video game was just hilarious. Final Fantasy VIII is a big one because it really, I hadn't really drifted off of gaming, but it sort of hooked me back in and really showed me what, at the time, modern gaming was capable of. So I'll never forget just how blown away I was by that opening sequence. What else? I mean, story-wise, it's things like, I don't know, Mass Effect, because it just really showed me what a story could be in a game, I guess. And there are a number of sort of co-op games, like, I can't remember what Assassin's Creed it was, and I can't, for the life of me, figure out why an Assassin's Creed game needed a sort of online multiplayer. But between that and Dead Space 3, those were games that myself and my now wife used to play a whole bunch. This is long before we even lived together. We would just get the headsets on and just play these games together. And it just, to this day, it just gives me fond memories of our courtship. So, yeah, that's just a few, Mr. Hooley. I hope that's good enough for you. The Big Deal says, as someone who was raised on the Genesis and my beloved Sega channel, I know little of the Saturn library. Since it sounds like you are amassing a collection of it now, what games can you recommend that are easily accessible through, let's say, nefarious means? You can't see that, Mr. Big Deal, but I did the Dr. Evil Pinky thing when I said that, so that was a little extra spice for you. I mean, I still don't have a huge Saturn library. I'm working on it, but some of the games I used to love when I was growing up with my Sega Saturn were obviously Tomb Raider, but you can get that everywhere. There was Guardian Heroes, which is a beat-em-up game, which I'm pretty sure is exclusive to the Sega Saturn, but don't quote me on that, and I fucking loved that game. Really cool cartoon art style, and who doesn't love a good beat-em-up? I'm not a fighting game fan per se, but I really, really enjoyed Fighting Vipers on the system. I guess it's sort of a 1A, 1B with Virtua Fighter, but for some reason I just got on better with Fighting Vipers. What else? What else? Oh, Nights into Dreams. I was obsessed with that game. Again, I have no idea if any of these are available even through nefarious means, but Nights was just a fucking acid trip of a game, and I just got hooked on it for ages. That will probably be my next Sega Saturn pickup, because I really want to give that game a go and see if it's held up. There are loads more, but being a kid at the time of having it, I didn't have a huge library even back then, so there were loads of games I didn't play. But you know, don't sleep on the Sega Saturn. That's a good little system. Blobby Rogers says, you wake up, thank God, you realise you are now in a video game based upon you and your life events. What kind of game do we get with Alan as the titular character? Not a very exciting one, Blobby. You know what, I think it's going to be some sort of life sim, and the idea of the game in general is to half-arse as many things, as many adult jobs throughout the day, so that you can extend the amount of time in the evening that you get to play video games. You won't actually get to play any of the video games. No. But yeah, you have to take shortcuts and just try and shave as much time off of everything that you have to do that day. All of the grown-up stuff that you have to do, so that you have just that maximum amount of evening time to sit down and play video games. There's probably going to be a couple of cooking side quests and mini games, and that's it. It's going to be a bunch of mini games about things that you do in the normal adult life, and the more you cheat, the better you do. Big Kid 782 says, good sir, what is one gaming franchise that you have played an entry or two but wish you could get deeper into and really play through all it has to offer? You know what came to mind as soon as I saw this question? It's Monster Hunter. I remember I played, I think, Monster Hunter 3 on the 3DS, and I was enjoying it. I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing to control on a handheld console. There was quite a lot going on there, and just not enough functional button inputs on the system to really get the most out of it. But I'm very interested in Monster Hunter. I have one. I think it's Worlds sitting upstairs on the shelf. I've had it for years now, and I haven't put it in because I know what a time sink those games are. So I'm a little bit afraid of them. But I would like to play some more Monster Hunter. So yeah, watch this space. Maybe I'll get round to Worlds eventually. And Game Genius. For the third time in the row, we have Game Genius with his Final Fantasy question. So I'll blitz through this because we've already heard it. So you make an online game that links all of the Final Fantasy games and makes it competitive. You go through whichever Final Fantasy game and level up your party like you would usually. You can then export your party into the online game and do a matchmaker like Madden or FIFA or 2K games and pitch yourself against others from the same Final Fantasy or their party from another. To add to this, you could choose the fighting style like playing a different game mode, meaning you could choose the active fighting style like more current RPGs or do traditional turn-based style prior to the start of battle. Keep a lifetime record of wins, losses, be able to actively switch party members in real time, maybe even set up a scoring system for successful attacks. This way you can break down into total points and win-loss, keep leaderboards, etc. I know there is a ton of nuance that would need to be thought through, and you could do the mini-games like Triple Triad from 8 or Tetramaster from 9, putting your Blitzball teams from 10 against others. What are your thoughts on this? I pay a subscription fee for something like this, and I am a cheap bastard, lol. I felt like I was doing the terms and conditions at the end of a fucking medicine commercial. Yes, so it sounds like a neat idea. I mean, I don't think I'm going to add anything to this that Brian and Sam haven't already gone over, but it sounds to me like you're describing Pokemon. That's a Pokemon game, my friend. You play through the main game, you build up your team, and then you go online and fight other people. Sounds neat. I probably wouldn't play it myself because I don't really play online games because, generally speaking, I suck at them and play video games to avoid interactions with other people. But it does sound like a cool idea. I like the addition of the mini games and whatnot. I think that would be cool. Final Fantasy Battles Across the Crystalverse. That's what I'm going to call your game. If you need a title for it, because it's Final Fantasy and there are always crystals. Whew. Okay, thanks everyone for your questions, your comments, as usual. Keep them coming, we love reading them. And so what have I been up to? What have I been playing? Well, I just finished Professor Layton and the Curious Village earlier on today. That was a lot of fun. That may or may not be an episode going forward, so I'll reserve judgment on that until then. I'm playing still dabbling with Silent Hill 2, but I don't have full access to that TV at the moment because the wife is still on Assassin's Creed Shadows. What else have I been playing? It feels like one of those sessions where I'm sort of waiting to play a lot of games, but not actually playing much at the moment. There is a game that I'm playing at the moment, which I think we're keeping under wraps for now. I think Brian and Sam have already completed it. I'm the last of us to actually get through it. So I guess we'll tell you more about that at some point. Other than that, not much at the moment. Yeah, there are quite a lot of games I want to play. I'm going to start Ratchet and Clank All for One soon. And there was something else. You know what? These are all potential episodes going forward, so I'm not going to say anything. I am just going to hand over to myself for the gentleman's interlude. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. A tale spun in digital shadow and forged in pixelated moonlight. Hear now, noble audience, of a game born from the minds of Konami, under the ever-watchful eye of the legendary Koji Igarashi, his name whispered in reverence across the haunted halls of gaming lore. The year was 1997, March 20th in the east, where the cherry blossoms fall like crimson tears upon the earth, and later on the 2nd of October in North America, where gamers welcomed a new dawn of darkness on the Sony PlayStation. A masterpiece emerged from Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo, an opus that defied convention, transforming the very essence of the action platforming genre. No longer did the Belmont clan stand center stage. Nay, in a twist most bold, players took the role of Alucard, the Dampier son of Count Dracula himself. A brooding, tragic figure, clad in silver locks and cursed with eternal purpose. He rises from centuries of slumber to confront the evil within the castle of his father, a fortress of shifting walls and secret paths. Dracula's castle, alive with menace and echoing with mournful organ chords. This was no linear crusade. Symphony dared to dance with exploration, weaving a tapestry of RPG elements into its gothic action. As Alucard traverses the sprawling labyrinth, he collects relics, unlocks new powers, and transforms into wolf, bat, or mist, each form revealing fresh secrets within the castle's cursed stone. Its soundtrack, its divine soundtrack, composed by Michiru Yamane, it was a symphony indeed, a blend of classical rock and haunting electronica that stirred the soul and quickened the pulse. Yet, let us not forget what was at stake. The game launched in a time when 3D reigned supreme and 2D was thought a relic of the past. But Symphony of the Night defied the tide. Though sales at first were but a whisper, the game grew to become a cult legend, a pillar of what we now know as the Metroidvania genre. So remember, brave soul, as you wander the darkened halls of memory. This was not merely a game, it was a requiem, a rebellion, a gothic opera etched into the blood of video game history. All right, there we have it, the gentleman's interlude, and that's really actually fucked my throat up. So let's wrap this intro up and get into the episode itself. And before we do, obviously, we like to hear from some of you guys, the Patreons, because you picked this game, you voted for it, for which I'm incredibly grateful. But let's see what some of you had to say about it. So Chris Kaplane said, "Okay, how long are we gonna hear a miserable pile of secrets?" And we should, of course. This game is a tried and true classic. Games of its genre didn't lock in the title of Metroidvania until here, and with good reason. It's accessible, fun, cheesy, and has just enough edge to make a 90s teenager feel like they're cool. The genre has gotten a lot better over the years, of course, and this isn't even the best in its own series. I have Aria taking that mantle, but this is the game that is the most foundational and perhaps important. Chris, I agree absolutely with everything that I mean, Aria is a take. It's a great game. I respect that take. Um, I'm a big Order of Ecclesia fan. I really enjoyed that one, but I don't think that there's a wrong answer there. Fantastic game series, especially like maybe it's a bold statement, but I prefer the Metroidvania style of games over the sort of just straight action platformers, which again are also fantastic. But this is what hooked me. Mr. Hooley says Castlevania, a game series that intimidates me immensely. I want to play, but I just can't handle the abuse. Mr. Hooley, you'll get no abuse from me. I mean, Castlevania can be. I mean, a lot of them can be very daunting for new players. I would argue, though, that Symphony of the Night is perhaps, as Chris there said, one of the more accessible ones. Especially with the leveling system and the RPG elements. It is very possible to get quite overpowered, and I would call this probably one of the easier Castlevania games if I had to call it anything. Wild Card. I just played this game for the first time a few months ago, and I can't believe I waited so long to play this gem. This would be a perfect game, in my opinion, if it weren't for the clunky menus in this game. Sorry about that, Wildcard. Kind of butchered your comment there, but yes, agreed. This is a game that I play and complete every couple of years or so, and it is a fucking gem and a half. So you already know what I think of the game. Spoilers. Blobby Rogers. This is a game I didn't get at release but wanted to pick it up a few years later. There were no copies to be found anywhere until I went into a Blaine's Farm and Fleet. There it was, with an inch of dust on it and discounted to $20. Fuck. Just a weird place to sell video games. This game definitely brought back the love and memories I've held for almost every entry in the Castlevania series. That is a loaded almost, and I would love to know the story there. I don't know what a Blaine's Farm and Fleet is, but $20 for Castlevania Symphony of the Night makes me feel a little bit ill because I own it for the PlayStation, and it was definitely not £20, dollars, or otherwise. Um, really wish I'd picked it up back in the day. Um, Oh boy, here we go. I This is a name and a half. Daddy's Secret Little Chubby. Well, it's not a secret anymore. It's all over the internet now, Chubby. This may be my favorite game, hands down. I play through it at least once a year and have bought it several times. Let's hope the boys love it too. I hope they love it as well, Chubby. Um, I made no secret of my feelings about it, but we've yet to record the episode. That will be happening very, very shortly, so I need to get a move on. Um, I hope they love it too. And Game Genius finally has this to say. This game was introduced to me way back when I was like 11 or 12 when my uncle moved in with us and brought along his PS1. Up until then, I've been a Nintendo boy. Well, he brought this and Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, nice Paul, which both became lifelong faves of mine, and Dead or Alive with the bouncing boobs mechanic, which for a preteen was the tits. Hell, my cat's name is Alucard. Symphony of the Night, with its leveling up capability, the transformation spells, the seemingly endless items, weapons, armors, and vast secrets you get while uncovering the map, along with a soundtrack that kicks all the arse, the 2D characters with fantastic depth in the back and foreground, while others were all jumping ship to terrible 3D games, made this game unforgettable. The inverted castle took the same map, flipped it on its head to add complexity and challenge, added new enemies, and made the game so much more difficult. Also, depending on what you do, there are 4 different endings to this game, which gives this masterpiece immense replay value. I come back to this game at least once a year, and my bro and I spent endless hours destroying this game. Soulsteel and Gascloud are GOAT. I love that y'all played and reviewed this. Oh, genius. I'll be honest with you. I can't guarantee we're going to read comments that long every single time, but that was practically a podcast all in itself. But I love the passion and I agree with the passion. And you love that we played and reviewed this. Well, we haven't reviewed it yet, so let's fucking get on with it. So let's put on our best capes. Don't forget to check the walls for secrets and see if we can't find Brian somewhere in this goddamn castle. As we three take a look at Castlevania Symphony of the Night, released for the PlayStation 1 on the 20th of March 1997. Guys, thanks so much for writing in, thanks so much for interacting with us, and hope you enjoy the episode. All right, and we are back to talk about the Patreon poll winner for the Q2, I guess we're calling it, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And with me, as usual...
Symphony
What?
of the Night.
Symphony of the Night. And with me, as usual, on this foray into Castle Dracula is my familiar, Sam.
Ooh, I get to be
And
a familiar.
you're my familiar. And recent Castlevania expert and future inductee into the House of Belmont, we have Brian. Guys, how you doing? Let's start with Brian. How you doing?
Yeah, I spent so long in the castle from Rondo of Blood that I figured it out finally.
You know it inside and out, don't you, by now? You've been living there for...
Can you believe me, of all people who famously is not a Castlevania fan, actually finished a Castlevania game?
I'm so proud of you.
And I didn't, because I accidentally deleted my file somehow. I was like, what the fuck? But okay, I couldn't sleep last night, and I actually went back downstairs and played, and almost got myself back to where I was 2 days ago when I deleted my file.
Oh shit! That's going.
I burned through. I was like, well, it happened, and I was not as mad as I thought I was gonna be, and I said, you know what? Let's run it back. And I just started it right over again.
That's bold, because deleting your save file is usually cause for just putting the game down indefinitely. So
just quietly walking away.
I would have just I would have not been here today if I deleted my save file.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that you stuck with it. And
I had to use a lot of walkthroughs, and I had to hit a certain point where I was able to actually not die every 5 steps.
Reasonable.
It does have a rough...
After I got cooking.
I can say it does have a rough... I don't know if you would want to call it a learning curve or just a steep climb at the beginning, because even, I guess I do have a unique perspective as having played most of the game and then immediately playing most of the game again right away.
Yeah.
You really notice the difference. I was like, what the fuck? I can't kill a simple skeleton in one hit? What's going on here? But yeah, it's
true
you really
measure
notice
of
the
your
difference.
Progress is how often you kill that same enemy you pass 40 times, or how many hits less it takes. I mean, there's that one hallway on the way to the clock room or the outer tower there, and there's these green enemies with a lady on the tail.
Yep.
And that was my measure. At first it took me 8 hits to kill them, and then as I progressed through the game, it took me 6 hits, then 4 hits, and it was 2 hits, and I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking cooking now.
And that, I think, is the beauty of the Metroidvania style, coined, I think, with this game in mind, and the RPG elements that this game has. Because, when you start off this game, you are nobody. But I think one of the strengths is that the longer you play it and the more lost you get, the more likely you are to level up. And that's when you start to see the rewards come in. But,
we talked about this yesterday to ourselves a little bit, and I told you I'd explain my thoughts about what makes this game stand apart from the rest of the Castlevanias I've played, and it is the progression. When I was playing Rondo of Blood, one of my biggest frustrations is every time I made forward progression and died, I'd come back with nothing except for the basic-ass whip. This game, at least when I died, I was still making forward progression. Yes, I got bumped back to the last save point, but I didn't lose everything. So I'm making forward progression, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting better, and that's why I was able to stick with this game. If this was basically Rondo of Blood 2, I probably would have dropped it again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because there are 2 distinct styles of Castlevania. There's the kind of linear action platformer that the early games in the series are, and then starting with Symphony of the Night, we start to get this more Symphony. We start to get this RPG, this Metroidvania, and I love Castlevania as a whole, but gun to my head, I have to say I do prefer this style of Castlevania game, and maybe that'll upset some of the purists. But so Brian, this is your first time playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night, yes?
Yes, absolutely, first time. I never would have touched it if it wasn't for the poll winner. But no, it just I've always said I'm not a fan of Castlevania. The games have never clicked with me. The last one I played was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. And that's when I was a kid, and video games were nothing more than minutes of entertainment. So this game didn't catch me right off the bat. Like, I was not into it when I first started playing. Things I did like is he got rid of the whip. I'm not a fan of the whip, believe it or not.
Oh, I like the whip. I was kind of disappointed there was no whip.
Yeah, the leveling up system was something that kept me engaged because, yeah, even though it was hard to go a certain direction, I would come back a little bit later and, you know, it'd be less hard. So,
yeah.
Like, you could take the name Castlevania off of this and just call it Symphony of the Night, and it would still be a game that stood up on its own.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, the fact that it is a Castlevania game and it is set in that sort of familiar world, I mean, it's kind of a case of a lot of the work is already done for you. I guess the base, the crust of the pizza is there. You just need to add some new toppings to it. So, Sam, like, is this? Had you played this before? I mean, you must have done. You're a Castlevania guy.
Yeah, you know what? I thought I had, and I can't remember very much of this game at all. So I've had Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP since it was basically a new game. But I think I mostly played Rondo. I don't know if I had to have played Symphony of the Night, but it's just like it all felt new to me, which was awesome because like a Metroidvania, and I've only recently gotten more into these. I've played probably 2 or 3 Metroids now. I played, what was that? Gosh, I can't remember what that indie Metroidvania is. That's it's very Metroid inspired, and I can't remember what it's called.
Bloodstained.
No, but I do want to play Bloodstained. It's more of a Metroid style. You got like a little gun and stuff. Axiom. That's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I get into a game like this, I am hooked. Like it's very addictive for me in a way that like even like an RPG or a strategy RPG, which are my other favorite genre, like don't always hook me in like this. Like I could play this game for hours and just tool around, kill stuff. You know, like maybe I'll find something new. And that's where like I would get stuck, and you helped me a little bit because I wasn't gonna figure out. We'll spoil it eventually, but I wasn't gonna figure out some of the things in this game naturally, and maybe eventually I would, but not in time for a podcast. But you know, like I never really get too frustrated with these games because it's always like, you know what, there's always something that I'm not thinking of, like a double jump somewhere or whatever. Like I'm content to just like go check out, you know, like pull up the map, where's there an opening, you know, have I looked there again, who knows, like let's go see it, like there might be one I didn't notice.
Yeah, the game really was good that way. I like how everything was kind of blocked off. You could almost grid it out if you wanted to. Because, you could look and you could see, like, there's a friggin' opening there I haven't looked at, and you go back and it's a locked door. You're like, oh, okay, yeah. But now you have a mission. Like, I want to unlock this door, so what do I need to do? Like, the blue doors that you find early on in the game.
Yep.
I had to go to walkthroughs because I am not an aficionado on Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But once I knew what I had to do, it was just a matter of getting past the enemies, and then that was just trial and error until I figured out, like, the books in the library that kept killing me. I was just like, I would run away from them, but then they'd chase me through the floors.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's just absolute bullshit. So then I would have to kill them. So I knew from that point on I had to kill them. But there was other things. Later in the game, you get a mace. I learned that the mace actually droops down to the floor. So if you want to hit enemies that are too low for your sword, you grab the mace in the other hand and you flop it around.
He swings it overhead too, so like
enemies.
I'll equip a mace on the other hand, and then I'll use that like when I have to jump and swing up. So some of those like floating bosses or like just stuff that they just Castlevania is infuriating for putting enemies that just float in a weird spot, just kind of like Mega Man does.
Yes.
Also, you know, like it'll come at you from an angle you can't possibly hit.
Yeah, I finally understand why people hate Medusa heads.
Oh God,
Oh
fuck
god,
to
there's
reduce
some
the hits.
places in the clock tower where you're climbing up all the gears and stuff like that, and there's like
Yeah.
those Medusa heads that petrify you, but there's also regular enemies that are floating around like Sam's describing, and you're trying to jump up at the same time, and the knockback in this game is
Oh,
stupid.
it's
True
Oh my
enough.
god, is it so stupid?
it's
It
something.
is, it is, but I will give it that. Unlike some of the earlier games in the series, like it's not like you're going to get knocked back into a bottomless pit and die. You know, it's very,
Well,
very
there is
unlikely.
no bottomless pits in this
Well,
game.
exactly. I mean, the map,
You
the
get
map
knocked down
is
into a new area at best.
exactly much like we said on the Rondo of Blood episode. It's like, you know, it's not the end of the world if you fall down. You just might find more game. But I agree with Sam. Like I do find this game in particular and games of this genre, I do find them kind of oddly relaxing. It's just like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, I'm just gonna pick a part of the map and I'm just gonna go over there and see what I can find. And if you know there's nothing there that I can do, I know full well that there's there's going to be something I can get later on in the game that's going to allow me to come back here and get through that door or go through that grate or what have you. And
Not o-
go on.
no, sorry. Not only is it, I didn't mean to interrupt, but not only is it relaxing, but I will play it until my eyes are burning and dry because I'm so like hooked into it. Like I'll
There's
know that I
always
should have gone to bed 2 hours ago, but I'm in it.
yes, there's always sort of just one more part of the castle. Just I want to just go that way and just check out that area before I go to bed. Well, now that
Oh, and
I'm
then it
over here,
opens
I've
up
got
and it's a whole friggin' section.
yeah.
Like they
It's
did
just like
such a good job.
now I've gotten this new thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see what I can do with this.
Yeah. Yesterday I played the game from 8 a.m. until about 3:30 p.m. when my kid got home from school.
Yeah, but
Fun ass day.
you're not a
I-
Castlevania guy. No, not at
No,
all.
no, not at all. But no, it just everything was clicking. Like you guys said, I found something. I wanted to see what it did, and I wasn't having a bad time because I was making progress. I died a few times, absolutely, but again, not a lot of loss. And actually that's something I really want to praise this game for is the amount of save spots you have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are not lacking in save spots. If you end up losing more than I'd say a half hour to an hour of progression, it's because you're not using your save points.
Yeah,
It's
I'll even
on
go
you
back.
because you're running across them like every 10 steps.
As soon as I
Sure,
beat a
yeah.
boss, I'll check, like, okay, is it easy to get to a save point from here? I'm going to run back and grab it quick. And it heals you, which is awesome.
Absolutely,
There-
heals you
There is
right
one spot.
up.
You know the upper left of the original castle, the long stairway where it has those dragon heads and then the knights that can
Yep.
only go diagonally, apparently?
Yep.
I spent so long there trying to get to the top of that with more than half my hit points that every time I got hit, I ended up going back down to the save point to reload, and then, or not reload, but like get my health back and then go back up the steps. That I actually gained about 5 levels on it alone.
Yeah.
And there you go. I mean, that's the RPG element sort of kicking in. It's just like, yeah, the more you bash your head against the walls of Castlevania, you're either going to get wall meat or level up. You know, it's just there's no downside here.
And it was great once you get to the, speaking of leveling up, like, we'll call it the second part of the game. Once you get into the second part of the game for now. I was leveling up constantly. It was just like, like, yeah,
Oh,
you had to
yeah,
work
yeah.
a little harder to kill those enemies, but it's like there is definitely a spike, but
Mm-hmm.
they dole out the experience points for you to be able to catch up.
Oh, there are certain enemies like those green skeletons.
Yeah. I was grinding with
Yeah.
that. Like I would go up and
They
down that little
just-
portion of the tower and just kill those things.
Just every couple of skeletons you kill, it's just like ding,
Yeah, that
ding.
that sound is very satisfying.
In the second
Oh,
half of the
yes.
game as well, there was so many life up and hearts up containers. Like you're just running in, you're tripping over them, you're avoiding them to make a game a little more challenging by the end of it. Like it just everywhere I went, there was like both of those, and then every boss you fight drops one of those. It's just like at the end of it, I was like, maybe I'm too healthy for a vampire.
Well,
I'm
I
no
mean,
longer anemic. That's how
Well,
healthy I am.
I mean, technically, and I never know how to say this word, but that's a good place to talk about a little bit about story, because technically, Alucard is what's called a Dhampir, or a Dampire, or what have you. He's the half human, half vampire son of
nice.
Dracula, and I mean, let's talk a little bit about Alucard, because like, I mean, the story is.
Alucard.
a la carte.
A la
The
carte.
story is what it is. You know, the castle is back. Somebody, this dark wizard Shaft is trying to bring back Dracula. Alucard,
Shaft.
Yeah.
Shaft. Uh, Alucard is like he's hopped out of his tomb and decided, no, 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 this ain't happening. And there you go. There's your story. Um,
Do you know
but
what I
Alec,
found really neat about this game, and something that I think a lot of games that are kind of building a series like this is technically a sequel to Rondo of Blood, and that's
yes,
because you start out the game as Richter, like
Yeah.
a fully titsed out Richter who fights Dracula, and that's how the game starts. And I thought that was actually a really neat way to introduce the game, even
I'm
though,
so glad you brought that up
yeah,
because like, I had
even
breezed right past that. But yes, yes, hard agree.
Even down to the boss battle looks the same with the two forms of Dracula. He's got that true form that looks fucking badass. That like
Yep.
demon. Oh, it's so cool. And it's a like they set it up so that it's kind of like the opposite of that first encounter in Mega Man X where you get fucking worked over. It's
Hmm.
almost like yeah, like you're probably not going to be that good, but they set it up just perfectly so that like you will win even if you're bad.
yeah,
Like even if you can't
Oh yeah,
if it takes you a minute to figure it out, like Maria will run in and save you
and
or
heal
I
you.
whatever. Like
just
Yep.
I
yeah.
love how much plot armor Maria has in this game.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
she's got so
don't
much.
even.
It's like who's the that lady that follows you around in Silent Hill too. Uh
Uh, Laura.
whatever.
Fuck.
The lady that's like just she's just everywhere. And it's like are you not seeing all this fucking crazy shit that's going on? Like how did
I'll
you
tell
Well,
get
you where
my
here?
she is. She's
my
always in my fucking way. Is where she is.
Yeah, no
my favorite
kidding.
part of Maria was when you had to open like do this puzzle around the big clock, and it opens up this
Hmm.
whole area of the game, and it's like, man, I just friggin' unlocked this after running back and forth in the castle for half an hour. And you go down, she's just standing in the secret room. It's like, huh, I've been here for a while. Here's this item you need.
It's
Yeah, I've
just
just been hanging out down
uh,
here, flicking the bean in the clock here. It's like,
I
what?
have
Yeah.
Where have
done
you been?
everything. I have done everything that this game has had to offer just to get the opportunity to get down to it. And you're just like, oh yeah, you know. I mean, Maria could have fucking soloed this entire game. Like,
Yeah,
what are
like
you
at
doing?
the end, she's like, why don't you fight Dracula Alucard? Because I'm not going to do it because I got Richter. And it's like,
Yeah.
you bitch.
Yeah.
You colossal bitch. Pick up a whip and fucking do your part.
She uses
Yeah,
her
or just
animal friends.
yeah, throw birds at people or something. Fuck.
I
Yeah,
actually
right?
really liked playing as Maria in Rondo of Blood. I don't know if you could in the original, but in that Dracula X version of Rondo of Blood, she throws those doves, and she's actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, yeah. I side note, I've been just recently watching Castlevania Nocturne on Netflix. Like,
Hmm.
have either of you guys ever watched the Castlevanias on
I
Netflix?
watched the first few episodes. It like really kind of follows the
So
plot
good.
of it is kind of a prequel to Symphony of the Night, isn't it? I mean, that's
Well, Nocturne, yeah, kind of. Like, I'm not entirely sure where it's set in the canon, but Maria's a fucking badass in it.
yeah.
Like, she
'Cause
is like she's a beast.
I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler, and I don't know if we're gonna. I mean, I'm sure we'll spoil the game. We'll warn you, but there's a point where um Alucard gets into like a nightmare and sees like how they killed his mother, and it's like, oh,
Hmm.
this
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
exactly like that Netflix series though. Like I really got vibes of that first episode.
Oh yeah, God, I love that fucking series. Like, if I may, like the Nocturne is great, and I'm enjoying it so far. But that first Netflix series with Trevor Belmont and what, it's just it's fucking perfect.
Hmm.
Everyone, if you're listening to this and you have even a passing interest in Castlevania, like watch that series. It's so good.
I do need to get back into it. It was good. I just haven't had time to go back to it. One other thing is I'll say because you did mention before that Alucard is a half vampire, half human hybrid son of Dracula. Um,
Yeah.
my my kids, bless them, were indulged me and let me play a little bit while we were all kind of just sitting on the couch, and they actually kind of got into it. They were like,
Hmm.
"Oh, go over here and like." my youngest was laughing at like some of the creature designs because I was fighting that boss where like those like naked guys are falling off that ball of corpses or whatever. She
Yeah,
thought that was she's
yeah.
like, I can see their butts. So anyways, um, they were asking questions about Alucard, and they're like, oh, is he, who is he? And I was like, oh, he's like a vampire. And they're like, oh, is he Dracula's son? And I was like, what? Perfect. From the mouths of babes. Like, like, of course, yes, actually he is. I was like, I couldn't believe they like picked up on that right away. They're like, oh, he
Absolutely.
must be Dracula's son.
Well, I mean, and like, for fuck's sake, what kind of cunt is Dracula to name his son his own name backwards?
Oh my god, I
What?
didn't even notice that.
Hold on. No, it's not. It's not backwards. It's an anagram or is that
No,
amalgam?
no. Go and have a look at it.
Hold on.
Dracula.
Oh no, yeah,
it is
no,
Dracula backwards.
Hey, that works really well. Hold on.
Yeah, right. You didn't even notice.
Well, that's the second play on names that have blown my mind today.
There you go.
It is.
Yep.
Wow, that's perfect. Oh, that's blowing my mind. It's like it's like Diagon Alley all over again.
Oh my god! I've got to tell you, like the fact that you guys didn't know that is, I've just blown my entire load. Like I feel like I feel like a level 50 Alucard right now. Like
that level up sound just like played in your head.
Yep.
We need to clean up on Isle Allen here.
Okay, I'm still confused at the Diagon Alley comment. What are we talking about there?
Diagonally is like the word that it's based off of, and it took me a couple of reads of Harry Potter to figure that out, and then like nocturnally,
nocturnally, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now I will know that on my first read
again.
if I ever get to it.
They're fun. I should read those again. Controversy aside.
Ugh.
But yeah, Alucard is I fucking love it, and it's a bold move to take a character who turned up in, I think, Castlevania 3 as a side character and make him the focus of the game, because I think this is the first time that we've had a main protagonist who is not a Belmont. And I think it works deliciously well. It really just slides into that gothic style of Castlevania just beautifully. And
actually, the
boss,
the Belmonts turn out to be kind of bad guys a little bit. I mean, there's a twist, but it was surprising. It was surprising to go into that Coliseum where you have to fight the werewolf and the Minotaur. That's a fun fight, but like Alucard is like
sitting up there.
Yeah, I said Alucard, but I meant Richter. Yeah, Richter's sitting up there. He's like, ha! Like,
I'm the keeper of this castle now.
Yeah, like he's just kind of moved in. Yeah.
Can we talk about the just piss poor acting? That is so great.
I love it. It's awesome. That is.
But it is piss poor. It is so bad. It's good. It sounds like they recorded their lines in separate continents. Without having ever met the other person. Like that's
inside of a toilet.
What a bunch of hacks.
I don't know how this game can't have a background music track and a vocal track playing at the same time. Like this is just peak PlayStation early days.
Listen, what is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. It's just perfect. As an aspiring voice actor, I have to say I have a huge adoration for like shit PlayStation voice acting. This is probably second to me behind Resident Evil. I fucking adore it. It's so good.
Oh god, what got me though is everything has an echo to it and sounds like an arcade cabinet. It reminded me of House of the Dead 2. The way they talk and everything has this just echo behind it, unnecessary echo.
I didn't even mind dying because then I got to hear that game over.
That was the one that made me click on House of the Dead 2. It was just like, no, that is stolen right from the arcade cabinet.
Actually,
I hear what you say, Sam.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I hear what you say, but I have issues with the death screen. But you go on.
It
You
kind
talk
of
about
the
pisses you
issue?
off after a while, doesn't it?
that takes so long to get back into the game. Like it is so like when you have to go through the entire little
Mm-hmm.
scene of the bones
Yeah.
and the thing, and it's just like, oh god, come on! I just want to get back into having
So
fun.
dramatic.
It
I
is
think that's why
very
I
dramatic.
actually I think that's why I deleted my file because I was like trying to mash X to get back into my game, and I think my hand must have slipped on the D-pad and hit because the way that the menu works is it's got like load, new, copy, and delete or whatever, and maybe not in that order, but like I hit up and I went down to delete, and that's how I deleted my file instead of loading it. I was like, hey, where'd my file
Oh,
go?
oh, gruesome.
Yeah, so don't rush through that screen because it'll get you if you're not careful.
No,
Yep.
it's 2025, guys. Just look at your phone, wait for it to blow over, and just get back into it. It's all good. It's all good. Chill.
I was fighting
No,
Beelzebub.
I
I wanted to
just,
get back in there.
I just,
Yes.
I couldn't believe like the way everybody talks about this game too. It's like it's the greatest thing in the world, and I was expecting like decent voice acting and stuff like that, and it just started like you run into death right at the beginning of the game, who takes away all your items,
Mm-hmm.
and the conversation sounds so disjointed that you could just tell that
Mm-hmm.
they were recording one person at a time, all their lines, and then just splicing them where they needed to go.
I would argue that just adds to that is a little bit of spice that adds to the flavor of this pizza we're
No,
talking
I'm
about.
I
It's just
get
like,
that.
charming.
My
yep.
main point about that is simply that, I wasn't expecting it, which is what made it even better. Like, I
Yeah.
love bad voice acting in good games. Grandia comes to mind with bad voice acting in a really good game, and it just sounds
Oh,
so cheesy and just doesn't fit the motif. Because if you do voice acting, you want the actors to kind of work off each other, but in this game, yeah, it just does not sound like that. They are not in the same place.
sure. Sidebar, I really want to play a Grandia game.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, cool,
We should
because
do
that was on my
Let's do it.
list.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to track down a copy. You heard it here
There
first,
is
guys.
there is Grandia on the Switch or PlayStation. You can purchase it for cheap, and you get Grandia 1 and 2.
Who are
I
you
might have to
talking
check and see if I have it because that's one of those things where like I'll like I'll pick up a game on sale and be like I'll shelve that for later. I might have
Yeah,
Grandia.
oh god.
I'll
I have,
need I'll need a
multiple copies.
legit copy.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it's on PS Plus.
It is. Yeah, it's there too.
Also, I have a legit copy.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to look
So
this
many
up while
so
you
many
talk.
ways. We're gonna play it every way that we have, and then we'll tell you which one is the best.
They're
Even
all
though
the
one
best
is
because
just
it's
an
not
exact port.
it's not an update. Two's
No.
two's got a bit of HD remake, but we're off topic. I mean, we're
I-
on a
No,
completely
that's fine.
different episode.
We're off topic, but I just tried to search Grandia and ended up typing Grandpa. So I think I've got a new Grandpa.
Go to lemonparty.org to get your best prices.
Ooh, that
28
sounds-
English
Is that a
pounds.
real thing or is that like a weird?
Yeah, it's old
website that
people
I shouldn't-
porn.
Oh,
Ew.
come on.
Gross.
I mean,
Castlevania.
love is love. Love is beautiful. You old people, you get after it, but I don't want to see it.
Get after it. What the fuck were we talking about before we went on this
We were
horrible,
talking about the
horrible
voice
tangent?
acting.
The
We were
voice
the
acting.
yeah, the dialogue, the disjointed actors.
Absolutely.
Everything echoey.
Absolutely indicative of the time, and makes
Yes.
me think fondly on Jill Sandwich from Resident Evil. But just I really think that this just adds so much to the game because it's such a product of the time. It's so edgy and it's so like dramatic and like
Mhm.
it's so 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. This is not a game like if you were to show me, sight unseen. Let's say I'd never played this game and I wasn't aware of it, and you showed me a screenshot. I would say like, oh yeah, it's probably like a Sega or a SNES game. It's just kind of interesting that like the PS1 went for this kind of gorgeous style. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some like 3D kind of polygonal elements to some things like the save or like the clock tower in the background, like certain elements of it, but a lot of it is like that kind of flat, sprite based, and it just looks so good. The sprites are so interesting and colorful.
Well,
Yes.
they're
So good.
very animated. I mean, the
Yeah.
way they actually animated everything, besides the fact that, God, you ever watch the Flash movie, like the one with that douchebag guy that was out recently there, and when he's running, he looks so stupid, like because he looks like he's trying to act as a guy who doesn't know how to running. Well, that's Alucard at the beginning of the his part of the game. Is when he's running, his legs are moving so slow, but he's
Oh
going
yeah.
so fast, and it was just like, hopefully this isn't thematic to the entire game, but no, it was really well done after that. Just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
you couldn't dash, so you never saw him run again.
Yeah.
I
And
I do like
like
his movement though, where like he'll like float back a little bit before he turns around. It's like it looks cool. Like they
I
nailed it.
I was literally going to get into this. Like, Sam, you hit the nail on the head, because in a time when like that sort of first few steps into 3D were just starting to happen, like to go
Hmm.
for like what I consider the pinnacle of 2D graphics was like a bold move, and B, just like fucking stunning, because
Yeah.
this game is so smooth, and it's like, I think they use the 3D kind of sparingly and to good effect. Like the background's like really good. Like you've got some really interesting stuff going on in the background, but like that pixel style, like it's not that blocky movement that you're used to from the early Castlevanias. Like everything is
Right.
just moving so fluidly, and it
It's
just
very
looks,
smooth.
it's gorgeous.
It's smooth,
I
Really
but
good
it's
looking
also
game.
really slow. That's one thing I found about his
Yeah.
movements is it, the more frames you add to somebody's movement, the slower they can look if you don't speed it up, and then if you speed it up, you don't need as many frames. So it's kind of double-edged sword in that account. But yeah, it's
Well,
just his walking animation and stuff like that. It was, even though you're moving at a normal speed, I always just found his movements really slow.
I mean, yeah, but it
Yeah.
looks great. I mean, his cape is flowing, his
Oh,
hair is
beautiful.
flicking. It's
And
just like, it's so well done. There's so
there's even
many
like a
frames
yeah.
to that animation.
Yeah, there's like a visual echo of, like I don't know how else you would call that, but like when he moves, he's got like a you can see the image kind of pull behind him. So it's almost
Oh, the
like it gives
shadows.
it's not really even a shadow. It's like
Yeah, but it's just like a
yeah.
shadow image of him behind him.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like it's trying to give you the illusion that like he is a vampire and he is moving quick. It's just
Yeah,
the
ethereal.
pace of the
Very
game
ethereal.
is yeah.
Oh,
There we
oh,
go. Yeah. What was your
oh,
favorite? What was your
Brian.
guys' favorite part of the castle? Because I've got a couple that I really enjoyed.
There is this part before I went into the castle where I didn't turn the game on yet. That was my favorite part.
Oh,
my
shut
God.
your mouth.
Oh,
You
come on.
fucking loved
You
it.
like this game?
Okay, you
loved
know
it.
what? You know what?
Listen,
I liked about this game, and I think this is probably the best feature of the game. I'm pretty sure everybody will agree with me, anyways. When the castle inverts, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to do this very familiar area over again, except for it's upside down, so you kind of have to picture the entire thing in reverse, and it fucks with your mind, but you know where you're going.
yeah.
Kind
It's
of in
Yes.
a way, but I
it's-
still got lost.
Oh, I got lost plenty of times. It was like trying to discover a whole new world. But again, I end up in areas, and of course, like the long stairs. They're up
Mm-hmm.
on the ceiling there, and now I'm jumping down these platforms.
It's
It's
just so like, oh, I know this part of the game, but it
Yeah.
just looks entirely different. And
And it's like, yeah, you had to go to the catacombs at the bottom or in the top in the inverted castle. And I was like, I know where I want to go. I want to look for something there because I know there's going to be something where I found the spike armor. So I want to go back there. And instead of falling, you're climbing. And it's just, yeah, it took me longer than I like to admit to figure that one out because I couldn't wrap my brain around the backwardsness of it all.
Yeah,
And
you know what I
let's-
was.
for-
You know what I was.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Well, you know what I was thinking about, like, because I was thinking of like Diddy Kong Racing or like Mario Mirror courses. Like, I can deal with Mirror. Mirror is just flipping it from left to right, right to left. Like upside down fucks with me. Like that's where I found it challenging. Like even though it was a familiar place, it was completely turned on its head, and that's more challenging to me than I think flipping it reverse.
Well, that's fair. But can we just appreciate for one moment just
No.
what? Yes, you fucking will, or I'll come over there. I'll come over there, Brian. Let's appreciate for one moment just how complex that is to design not only a castle that works the one way, but
Yeah.
also works just as well when you flip it over. I mean, I think that's some astounding game design.
It really is.
You
I
would
think
think it
Yeah,
would break the game, but they put just enough in to just allow you to reverse both.
No, what's really neat about this is how special the inverted castle is, because you can finish the game without ever setting foot in the inverted castle.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
people, like, how many people played this game, beat Richter, and were like, yeah, fucking game over, brah, and then never played this again, and then all of a sudden the inverted castle comes out, and it just opens a whole new game, because you're essentially starting from scratch. It's like a new game plus almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have your stuff, but it's a new map.
Because you can kill Richter and roll credits, which is what I did the first time. So I guess I kind of experienced it naturally the way you would, because I tried not to use any guides or anything, and I found Richter. He killed me real quick at first, and then I found some more items and weapons that would work against him, and I killed him. I was like, cool.
Oh, once I found out where Richter was, I looked at my map, I found all the spots I hadn't been to in the castle, and I went back and I made sure to explore them.
Very smart.
Yeah. 90% of this game is just finding everything, and in your course of your journey, you level up high enough to actually beat bosses. And there are some fucking bosses.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Never heard of it.
Did you... Okay, so finding the items that... I guess we're getting, like... If you haven't played this game, we're getting into some spoiler territory, but I think it might be pretty well known now. It's kind of like the what is it, the Sixth Sense of video games, where it's like the twist that everyone, it's like a famous twist
with the twist.
Yeah.
Now the items that you need to actually complete the game the quote unquote right way and unlock the upside down castle, there are little clues in the inventory screen that kind of lead you to what you need to do. But were there any other... I can't imagine that people didn't figure this out pretty quick. Like, yeah, I get, like, if you're just playing it, you could very easily just go kill Richter and that would be it. You'd think you'd finish the game. But I would even think that, like, in the manual, like, Alan, you have the manual, don't you? Are there any clues in there?
Bold of you to assume I've read it. And I know that's a Retrotopia faux pas. I'm going to have to check on that.
That should
I
be
have
another...
no idea.
That's another t-shirt. Always read the manual.
Yeah.
There's good stuff in those old manuals.
Just a picture of me shrugging.
Yeah.
Sam, thank you so much for putting me on the spot there, buddy. I have no fucking idea. I've played this game so many times that it's just kind of second nature now.
Yeah, at this point you don't need it, but
no, exactly. Like, I know
it's
where all
not
the
in
secrets
the manual.
are. Is it not?
It's not.
No,
wow.
I just went through it. It's nothing says about flipping shit upside down.
I've got a scan here, and coming soon, Metal Gear Solid. Oh, what a time!
Oh.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just, and I think that's, like, there is no shame in just beating Richter and completing the game. Roll credits. You roll credits, you've beaten the game as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
It just speaks to it speaks to the design of this game, that the more you explore Symphony of the Night, the more you're rewarded for that exploration.
Yeah. And some of the puzzles are pretty clever, but I think one thing is I'd like to see more clues of how to do certain things. Like, I'd love it to be better telegraphed of how to get the castle to flip. Like, I'd love it to Maria to show up in random spots that you had to fight your ass off to get to, and say give you like little hints, like, I think Richter's being controlled. You need to find this, but doesn't tell you where it is. Well, now you know you have to hunt for something.
I'll debate that in so much as when you do find Maria down in the place where she should not be, she basically says Richter's being
Well,
controlled,
but that's
and then
after you
gives you the
find that.
glass. Yeah, and then gives you the
But
glasses that you need to
but
see what's controlling him.
you need to find the 2 rings, and then you have to find the spike armor to get one of the rings. I mean, that takes you across the entire map, and nothing tells you how to get that. You got to get the bat echolocation. Like, all this crap is not just stuff you randomly find. What I'm saying is not her telling you that when you get the item to, you need to see the magical orb. I'm talking about the lead up to it, everything you need to open up that room so that you can, flip the castle. Just hints, just like an RPG where you talk to a random person in a town, gives you a hint about a magical sword in the cave or some crap.
I mean, I can understand that from a certain point of view, and I could certainly understand that given this is probably one of the earliest, barring Metroid, this is one of the earliest examples of the Metroidvania format, but the game kind of encourages you to explore as much as is possible. And I think the more of that you do, and it encourages replay of the game. Like I say, you don't have to do all of this in one playthrough. Like, bear in mind, back in the 90s, like, this would be like one of the only games that we had. So you are gonna poke around, you are gonna explore every corner, and you are gonna find these secrets, and that's what makes this game so rewarding on every subsequent playthrough.
Yeah, the only thing
I don't know.
The only thing I push back on is like, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say maybe calling it an RPG would be better if they had more RPG elements other than leveling up.
Yeah, I mean you equip your weapons and that influences some of your stats, but it's not. I mean, it's not really the same, I guess, and you don't really see how much experience you're getting. That's all kind of behind the scenes.
Oh, even that's fine. This is loosely an RPG. Like, it's a platformer with RPG elements. Something you see a lot in games nowadays. This is kind of like the trailblazer that made this possible for action games of the 2020s to always have like a leveling system. But yeah, no, I definitely call it a Castlevania RPG. It just it doesn't have all that RPG goodness, in my opinion. Still a great game. Still a great game.
It's definitely flavored with RPG, but it's not all the way there. It's just, and they didn't have to put that in the game, so it's appreciated that they did.
Yeah, you can call Simon's Quest a role-playing game as well, because they tinkled with a little bit of role-playing elements in the game.
Oh, Brian, absolutely. Like, I'll agree. And you brought Simon's Quest up earlier as well, and I did mean to say, like, I feel like Simon's Quest is kind of the seed that grew into Symphony of the Night, because they took a chance with Simon's Quest and tried to do something a little bit different, just to kind of add those RPG, those exploration elements into the game. And I mean, I love Castlevania 2, don't get me wrong, but for many it didn't land. But it's nice that they sort of didn't just kind of bin the whole idea altogether.
Yeah, but in Simon's Quest you can talk to people, can you not?
Yeah, I think
yeah, so that's where the game has a little more RPG-esque elements to it. It's like Link 2 or Legend of Zelda 2. You can talk to people. They give you hints about finding stuff that would otherwise be endless exploration.
Absolutely.
Where my point falls,
the very useful I am error.
Yeah, where my point falls flat though, and as I continue to talk, is this game, it really is encouraging you, like you said, to explore by giving you the map as you unlock it and showing you that there are rooms here and there that you haven't seen yet. Like, if you couldn't progress further on the map, it's not going to have a white border to denote that it is ended. It's going to show open, so you can go further. So yeah, I don't know. It's a confusing thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I like it in one aspect. Other aspects, I think they kind of fell flat.
That's reasonable.
I don't know.
That's reasonable.
All I know is I found the holy symbol and I could swim.
Shit, I didn't find that. I really need to find it.
The holy symbol that allows you to swim is a fucking snorkel. I love that. Like there is an element of tongue in cheek to this game that I just find hilarious. It's like find the holy symbol that'll let you swim. It's a snorkel. Okay, like good job, guys. Because up until that point, you basically burn at the touch of water. So
Yeah,
it's just they knew that they were making some amount of cheese here, and they just gave us the crackers to go with it.
I did go into the water a little bit, but I made sure that I had like 300 hit points, and I just pulled a Final Fantasy 4 on it. Instead
I
of
just
casting float, I just let myself get burned. Like same thing here. I just make sure that I have a ton of hit points, and I just get in there.
That's what I did at first, and then yeah, after
Yeah.
that I found the holy symbol, and then Jesus be with me, I was able to get into water.
there you go.
I need to find that because there is definitely like I know that even in the regular castle there's plenty that I didn't find. Even though like if you were to pull the map up, you can see that I've very thoroughly explored the entire castle, and it's like nope, there's probably still stuff in there that I would never find. And I had one more point about the rings. Um,
Hmm.
it's funny that you mentioned like, oh, it's kind of telegraphed, but it's kind of not. Like by the time I figured out what I needed to do with them, they had been sitting in my inventory for quite a while. I was like,
Oh
oh, I got to
sure.
do something with those. And the funny thing is like you're finding fucking rings all over the place. It's kind of a bait and switch because it's like there's a topaz, there's a garnet, there's like all these different rings that don't do anything except for you can sell them to the shopkeeper. So it's like to me, like if I pick up a gold ring, I'm like, okay, it's another ring. Who gives a shit? You know,
See,
like it
every
doesn't do
time I
anything.
found something I didn't know what it did, I would actually go look at it in my inventory, and I noticed that the gold ring had a two pieces of a puzzle, like two words of a puzzle, and then
Mm-hmm.
the dot 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 in between them.
There
Yeah,
you
And
the
I
go.
inventory
knew
description
it
is
had something to
important.
do. And of course, the one I had, I don't remember if it was the gold or the silver, but it said clock on it, so I immediately knew it related to that. And
Right.
yes, but
See?
that's the kind of crap I'm telling. Like I'm saying, it gave me a hint of what I needed to do.
Well, there you go, and that gives you the hint that will lead you to the extra like half of this game. It's
Yeah,
that
and
right there. We've got two completely different playing styles. Like Sam's just like, I'm just picking shit up and having a good time, and Brian, the RPG guy, is just like, well, I'm going to check the stats on this thing. I'm going to see like what it does. I'm going to read everything, and the
is
game
it a
is kind of
finger ring? Is it a
it,
cock ring? What type of
absolutely.
Yeah.
ring is this?
Listen, wherever you decide to put it, every ring is a cock ring if your cock is small enough. Um,
Excellent. Speaking of small things, do you want to talk about some of the bosses like Galamoth,
oh God,
the
yeah.
giant, most powerful boss in the entire game, even more powerful than the final boss?
Go ahead.
I fucking hate him.
Ah,
Enough said. Oh my god, this gigantic ass monster with only weak point being in his head. You have to have a specific staff, which I can't remember the name of, and I can't remember if it was the a la carte shield you use just to kind of defend yourself, but if you can get this staff, he's not that hard. He has 12,000 hit points, and if you don't hit him in the head, you're doing maybe 20 to 40 hit points of damage on his shins. And he has attacks that can fuck you up unless you have the right ring. That's why you got to read your what the rings do. So you get a ring that protects you from lightning, and then you're pretty much GTG by, and you can attack him. I had the ring, and I was able to avoid a lot of his attacks, but I just chomped away at his goddamn ankle for about an hour to kill him.
I'm going
Because
to
it
be
was
honest
hard
with
to
you.
get up to his head.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I have a lot of respect for you for like beating that boss fight because I'll be honest. Like at this point in my Symphony of the Night history, like, I get the shield rod from the first castle. I get the Alucard shield from the second castle as quickly as humanly possible, and after that, the game is a
But
cakewalk.
that's the other thing is you can get the Alucard stuff from the first castle. I don't know
Ala-
why it was strewn about.
a
A
la
la carte.
carte, a la carte tea. So
Oh,
the
sorry.
a la carte stuff is like the fake a la carte armor. In the second castle, you get
Oh.
yeah. Now, what the shield rod does, and this is as good a time as any to talk about this. What the shield rod does is bring out the secondary power in any shield that it's paired with. Now, if you have the Alucard shield paired with the shield rod, if you press both shield and attack button at the same time, it will bring out the power of the Alucard shield, which is basically to do attacks for 68, I think, odd seconds at the strength of 255 strength. So you basically just hold up your shield and walk into the enemy, and it will just consistently do that amount of damage every second to the boss until they're dead. And that's basically what I do now. Like, I have played the game legit, but now I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I like being overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
Come at me.
Oh, that's the best part about the game. As soon as I was able to fucking kill things without, struggling, the game became more fun for me because now I could focus on exploring instead of trying to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you run into Galamoth and he kills you twice, and then you finally just figure it out with a little bit of online research and some luck.
By the time I get to Galamoth, I've got that combo, and he's done in literally like 5 seconds.
No, it took me about an hour.
That's why I have all the respect for you.
I was talking to you guys. I was actually pausing to take breaks to talk to you guys on Discord because it was taking so long. And I was actually going to, I thought he was invincible. I was going to quit, and then I looked up how many hit points he had, and it was like 12,000. I'm like, but I'm doing fucking 100 every time I attack him. That's 120 cycles of me attacking him and then avoiding his attacks.
He is a beast.
At least you were able to avoid it and just kind of get into a rhythm. Otherwise, it's like,
oh no, there was no rhythm. 90% of this game, I used the bat transformation in order to get away from danger.
Bat?
Bat?
Yeah, fuck. That was the other thing is when you get the bat transformation and you're exploring and you don't want to fight all the enemies through a tunnel, you just bat your way through the roof or the ceiling.
Yeah,
and you just go
I had
along
to do that
the ceiling
in the upside down a lot.
I did that with the mist transformation and that's as good a time as any to talk about the transformations because like any good Metroidvania, at various points in the castle you will find these I guess glyphs that will allow you to transform into different forms.
They're called relics.
Relics, thank you, Brian. And Bat basically opens up the rest of the castle to you because you get a good amount of time flying around as the Bat. Mist allows you to pass through grates. Wolf is
useless.
Let's be honest, it is useless.
I only found it useful in one spot when I had to do a running jump, and the wolf actually was the only one that you can double tap dash with.
Right.
Yeah, and I will concede that the wolf is useful if you want to swim to certain areas, because I think one of the upgrades for the wolf allows you to swim, and if you're trying to unlock every part of the map, that can be quite useful. But otherwise, yeah, I didn't really use the wolf.
There was a spot where Alucard can't crouch, so there was one spot in the game where the hallway got narrow, and then I just used the wolf to kind of get through that. But I also had the bat and the mist, so I could have used either of those. So the wolf is pretty useless.
I mean, these transformations just get infinitely more useful with the extra abilities that you get from with the mist, for example. When you get that poison gas upgrade for it, that's so OP. You basically get the ability.
Did that hurt enemies?
Yeah, big time.
I got it, but I never actually used it to try to hurt anybody.
Oh my god, there are entire sections where there were enemies that's just I cannot be fucked to fight you, but if I just turn into this fart cloud and just choke. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You just turn into a giant cloud of fart and just choke these cunts out, and it's it's brilliant.
Well, that's exactly that would be very useful in places like the Upside Down Coliseum, where there's just a fucking murderer's row of werewolves and minotaurs, where they just kind of it almost felt have you ever played a Warcraft or Starcraft game and used the map editor and then fucked around with putting as many units to do a little space as you can? That's what some of those hallways felt like, where it's just stacks on stacks of werewolves and minotaurs, and sometimes it would drop you right down the middle where you're gonna get just bat it around like a rag doll. And it's like, yeah, if I could turn into a fart cloud, it would be really useful to get out of this.
That's exactly what I was using it for, but it was in the Upside Down Castle when you get to certain areas where there's,
Yeah.
you get those chicks that grow out of the plants, and they're just like throwing out vines.
Yeah,
Those
what
ones,
the
yeah.
fuck? I still am stuck on that. Like the first time before I deleted my file, I fucked right out of there, and then the second time I was like, I'll probably figure this out on my second run, and I was like, nope.
Buddy, let me tell you, when you can turn into a fart cloud, that corridor is a breeze.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
A stinky,
Literally, 'cause somebody
stinky
opens a
breeze.
Yeah,
Yep.
somebody open a window.
It's like fucking Ren and Stimpy, isn't it? With Stimpy's fart friend. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. Man, we should cover a Ren and Stimpy game.
Haven't we already done that?
Yes, we.
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's the
joke.
before times.
It is the before times. That's a really old episode, and one that Brian really had a good time with.
Oh fuck yeah. No, it, I don't know. Anything else we should talk about on this before we wrap up?
Oh
The
god,
music.
there's so much. Music, familiars. Let's.
Okay, what's
talk-
the deal with the familiars? I figured out on my second kind of playthrough, and I got out one of them to just kind of follow me around. It was the fairy, and it did jack shit. Like, do these familiars
Brian?
do anything?
Brian, weigh in.
Yeah. So, I thought the same thing, and I was talking to Alan about this, and as I was talking, the fairy went and showed me a secret that like a wall I could crush.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if they all do that, because later on in
No.
the game I was using the demon, and there
Okay.
was a button that had to be pushed, and the demon went up to it. It's like, this hasn't been pushed yet, and then he pushed it, and it opened up a path.
Well, shit.
Yeah,
I
so-
should get out the familiar. I got just kind of irritated with it, just floating around doing jack all that. I just put
It
it
does
away.
nothing. The fairy does attack, but they attack so infrequently that they're not useful.
Yeah,
Now
that's
the-
kind of what I was expecting.
The familiars are an interesting relic that you can pick up at various points in the game, and you got the fairy, the demon, the sword.
There's a
Sprite.
ghost.
There's one I'm forgetting.
A ghost.
Bat, ghost, fairy, demon, sword, sprite.
So they all kind of have their own like little quirks. So they will attack, and they do level up the more that you use them. But Brian, you actually, because I never used the fairy, so you were the one who revealed that the fairy actually lets you know where there are secret passages
Well,
to extra
I'm sort of an
areas.
expert on the game now that I've played it.
You are Brian Belmont, yeah, granted. The demon will open up paths for you by pressing the buttons. The sword is the one that I generally use because it just basically swings around and attacks things, and just that's really
Yeah,
fucking
that's the one
cool.
that looks like it would be the most useful in a pinch.
Oh, absolutely! Like it will really get stuck in. So, yeah, just a really nice little touch. I mean, you can use them if you want to. You don't have to, but like they do add. I like that they went the extra mile in adding all of these kind of secondary abilities to these things. It's just like if you know what you're doing with them, they can be really fucking useful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm reading the wiki here. The fairy uses medicines on Alucard whenever necessary. She's the only method of using a hammer of life, or using a hammer or a life apple.
Oh, okay.
Senses hidden rooms in normal castles. She does nothing in the reverse castle, maybe, which is why you never found it. Gives hints in the dark room at the catacombs. If Alucard stays unmoved for a while, she will sit on his shoulder and take a rest. Giggity.
Taking a
That's
rest, giggity. Let's just know, where is your like association there?
I added the giggity.
Brian's got a shoulder fetish.
Oh, baby, yeah.
Love
You know
a
when
good
a
shoulder.
woman's walking around and that bra strap falls down, I'm done.
Ah.
Right there. Just on the ground, just like the whole jizz in my pants video.
Oh yeah.
Well, Patreons, you voted for this shit. Well played. But yeah, a nice little touch. The fuck else have we got to talk about? I mean, there are a lot of things, like there are so many different armors and weapons and things like that, but we're not really going to get into the weeds on that, I don't think.
No, it's
No.
more fun to let people explore the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now that
sure.
you know the story, you don't need to worry about that anymore. You can go find the stuff.
Yeah. absolutely.
I
I mean, we took kind of like touched on. Should we talk about the quote unquote spoilers of the game?
I think we've kind of touched on a lot of spoilers already,
Yeah,
but
I
let's
think we
go
already
ahead.
kind of beat around them a little bit.
Mm.
We haven't
But
talked about
just
music at all.
let's do it.
I mean, the music on this game, like, for a Castlevania game that doesn't feature bloody tears or vampire killer, like the soundtrack is really really good. Like, it's kind of like the first couple of, and each part has like its own kind of theme to it, but it doesn't jump out and grab you right away like a vampire killer track would.
Mm.
Um, but it kind of it grew on me where I was really enjoying the music, and some of it is like, there's a section where there's like some harpsichord playing and um, like just kind of like organ music and stuff like it's like really, I mean, time period specific to like the 1700s when this is supposed to have taken place. But I mean, the music is so good. There's one spot in the
Mm.
Upside Down Castle where I was playing, and the Lady Beagle was saying like, "Oh, this is really really relaxing music." We were both just kind of like vibing to whatever the calming music in the Upside Down Castle was. It was like everything is completely fucked around me, but this music is very calming. And
Amazing.
then, and my favorite one is the clock tower, where it's got that kind of like, I don't know, it's got kind of like a metal tinge to it. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? It's only now that you say that there's no bloody tears or vampire killer. It's like I didn't actually notice.
Mm-hmm.
And this game really kind of uses that CD capabilities of the PlayStation to up the game of the music. Now,
Yeah.
Castlevania up until this point has always had really good music, but like this really sort of opened up that more operatic, that
Yeah.
more faithful to the instrument kind of theme, and it's just and
Well, have you ever taken your copy of the game and put it in a regular CD player to see if you couldn't play the soundtrack?
there's only one game I've done that with, and that was Final Fantasy VIII, and it did let me play Eyes on You, which
That's
that
cool.
track fucks. That's a
I
good
didn't know that
track.
I didn't know that you could do that with PlayStation
Yeah,
games. It's
some
like
games. I think this is one of them that you can do that with because a lot of
interesting.
them just use regular CD tracks, and then you just basically get the soundtrack with the game.
Holy
That's kind of
shit.
my point about the music of this. Is one of the biggest problems is the music never layered over anything. So, like I
Mm,
said, if
Right.
somebody had to talk, the music cut off, and they would have their conversation, the music would start again. Or if you hit a point where you're about to hit a boss fight, it would
Yes.
just music would stop.
That's
And
actually
it
very useful because if I wasn't ready, I'd be hauling my ass back.
yeah, but it just shows that like the technology of the age just hadn't got quite there yet.
oh yeah,
Exploit the
absolutely.
jank.
Like, it's
But as for
exploit the
this,
jank.
yeah, as for the soundtrack itself, you guys are right. It's an absolutely banger of a soundtrack. Like the music is fantastic in this game,
It's just
up until the
actual
point
good music.
that yeah, it's
We're-
just it does.
yeah.
Even though it's repetitive, it is very repetitive because you are going through a lot of the same areas again for a long time, and every time you switch screens, it kind of like pushing the back button on the CD player, so you restart the track over again. And but it's nothing that makes me go, "This is getting tedious" or "It's getting old."
Exactly, and
Yeah.
like I'm so glad you said that because that ties into the point that I wanted to make is that none of this music is like because you are exploring so much of this castle, you are going back and forth, and the music is kind of like it's not so in your face that it's going to be annoying. It's it's kind of chill, it's kind of background, and it's like
Hmm.
it's not something that you mind hearing over and over again. Like Brian, you fucking nailed it. It's like
Yeah.
it's part of the ambience rather than being sort of I don't know a feature. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's just
Well,
like yeah,
some games have that music that either burrows into your brain so you can never forget it, or it's just not setting the mood right,
mm,
and it just becomes a distraction. This game has the music that fits the theme very well of the game, and it's subtle enough that you're not sitting there focusing on the music when you should be focusing on the game.
Yes.
And
100%. Could
I
not have said it better.
I would
considering you have
add
a lot to explore in this game and things you have to find and puzzles you have to solve, it's good to have music like that that doesn't distract you.
No, no.
yeah, and to kind of just dovetail off of your exploration, like I was picking up on audio cues as well as video, or like visual cues, not video, visual cues. Like you're in the marble gallery, that because you can see obviously there's marble pillars, but you can also hear the music that plays in that area. And the same with the library is very distinct, and the chapel, and every section of the castle has its own theme that goes with it, so visually and audioly, what's the word for that?
Auditorily.
Whatever, there's audio cues, and it helps you know where you are, and if you have to backtrack, then you know where you are.
Orally,
that's it. Yeah, orally, not orally. Oh, orally, that's such a stupid word.
Yeah.
Orally.
Yep.
Orally is what happens. Orally is what happens after we stop recording.
Yeah, orally is what happened when you find the wall meat in the wrong place.
Oh. Glory hole.
There's a Frankfurter. There's all kinds of weird food too. Like there was one where like I was fighting a boss and I wanted to drop myself some health, and I was like, oh, I've got this one that's called like full breakfast. I was like, that's gonna give me like 100 hit points. It was like 10. I was like, what the fuck? It was a full breakfast.
Actually, what caught me about this game is after so many hours of talking about wall meat and stuff like that because of the Castlevania trope, there was like one spot I actually found roast inside of the wall.
Yeah, there weren't that many.
No, it's
the one Castlevania game that you've completed, which goes to show that Brian does better without wall meat.
So 10 points off this game for that.
That's why Brian got lost in the castle last time, is he found the first wall meat and then just sat and ate it for the rest of the time.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I'm good. I got this meat.
Bathroom to bathroom trying to find another hole with wall meat in it.
Hey guys, there's meat in here.
Dracula who?
Yeah. Dracula's like, yes, he's taken the bait.
Brian sitting there checking his fucking watch.
Yeah, he's sitting there leaning on his throne. He's like, where the fuck is this guy, blah? And then I'm just sitting there like hammering away at his castle brick by brick until the whole thing topples and it kills him.
Where is this man?
Oh, you got to add more echo to your voice.
Yeah. Yeah, and that laugh that's like, oh, the voice acting.
Okay.
I'm good.
We want you to play Dracula, but we're not going to pay you a lot of money. Gotcha.
Well, then you're going to get not a lot of money's worth.
You're going to get a backwards Dracula. You're going to get an Alucard.
Hey-oh. Nailed it.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm done. I'm off. I'm going to bed. All right, guys.
I'll be there in a minute.
There is literally an entire second half of a game that we could talk about, and I think we've covered a lot of bases here. You play through Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You play the game correctly. There's an entire second half of the game, and now I'm rambling. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Are we good?
I'm good.
I think we're good. I think it's better to let anybody who's gained interest in this game to find and explore the castle themselves.
It's a great.
I love it.
I'm so happy this one won. I mean, I was kind of pulling for Dino Crisis a little bit, but because I knew we would get this one eventually, but I was happy with it. Obviously, I've not finished it because I deleted my fucking file, but I'm right back to where I was. Like I was like, you know what? Now I know where to go, and I sat down. And this is a game that I think I would. I mean, we might as well get into final thoughts. You think?
Do it.
This is a game that I think I enjoyed enough that I would. I've got it on my PlayStation. I would definitely sit and do like a annual or semi-annual run if I'm not sure what to play between games. Like, yeah, have a go with Symphony of the Night. It's fucking phenomenal. I mean, like I said earlier, I get really hooked into the gameplay loop of a Metroidvania where it's just that, one more, like couple more minutes. Let me just go see what's over there. Then I'll turn it off. And it's like 3 hours later. I'm like, oh, that's that's the game.
Yep.
So I had that experience with this game, and I really love the value packed in with it being, the game itself, and then turn it upside down, and it's the game again, but in a different, it's like New Game Plus, but upside down, which I would say upside down plus, but that's also a plus. So, um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's fantastic, and I guess like I've done a little bit of additional reading and research on what else is available, and I think, Alan, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you've gotten to this, but I think you can play as Richter and Maria at some
You
point.
can definitely play as Richter. I think after you've completed the game, if you add your name as Richter into the
Yeah,
save file, you get to play through the game as Richter. Yep. And I'm
that's
going to
pretty
say
cool.
Richter again just for fun.
Richter. Uh,
Richter.
it's it's gosh, I don't even know. I'm like at a loss for words because I've enjoyed it so much. But it's like at first I was thinking like, I don't know if I do like my sci-fi stuff. I like my zappy gun that you get in Metroid. Yeah, I like to be able to attack at a range, but the gameplay was so smooth that you whether you had a sword or a mace or a knife, it's like you kind of figured out just precisely where you needed to put your character to take a slash with a sword and hit, and it, I don't know, just the gameplay mechanics were so smooth. I would I think I would give this a 9 out of 10. It's damn near perfect.
I love it. I love it. Brian, I really want to hear from you right now.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry, I didn't mean to take that first, but I figured we,
in
we
Much
were
in
like
already
your
in
in
that
a
playthrough of
direction.
Symphony of the Night, that never finished.
in 100 words or less. No, Brian, like you are the quote unquote Castlevania noob, so I'm really dying to hear what you
I
think of
prefer
this.
naysayer, but we'll go with noob.
This is the
Um,
Mikey, like he likes it.
yeah.
That's an
All
old
right, so
reference. Sorry.
100 words or less. So I said it during Metroid Zero Mission that it was another series I'm not overly fond of, but Zero Mission just kind of caught me and took me away. This game took a lot for me to get into, and I had to keep going back to it. And I was playing Blueprints at the same time, so every time this game would, fuck me over, I'd go play Blueprints for a little bit. Then I'd come back to the game. I never felt like I didn't want to play this game. I was just pissed off at the moment. So to me, this is the same feeling I got with Zero Mission. The further I got into it, the more stuff I got, the more I wanted to explore the game. And as soon as I hit that point where I was not dying every 3 to 4 steps, the game kind of took off for me. And like I said, I played from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. yesterday, finishing the game, and it raised my initial opinion of it. Like initially, I was just like frumpy ass, Brian sitting here going, "I'm not gonna like this game no matter what these guys say." But I've kind of come around on it. Will I ever play it again? Absolutely not. But did I enjoy my playthrough of it? I did. So I am going to go ahead and give this game. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. I don't think it's as good as Sam said it is, but I do like some of the stuff, like the Upside Down Castle being a whole second game within a game. I like the concept of exploration, like going around and just looking in every nook and cranny. But other than that, yeah, there is a couple of problems. I did find some of the difficulty spikes, or I don't know, the leveling up took a little bit longer at points. I know after you hit it, like once you get up to a certain level, it takes longer to level up or go between levels. So yeah, that's about it. 8 out of 10 from Brian.
Very respectable.
That's a good score.
I love it. And that just leaves me, the self-appointed Castlevaniac of Retrotopia. This this game, like this is undeniably one of my comfort food games. It's something that I will throw on every couple of years or so and just play through and genuinely just chill out and relax and have a good time with. The graphics, the animation are just sumptuous. The music, it just uses that CD capability to gorgeous effect. I know this castle inside and out. The voice acting is just absolute shit magnificence. It's just about a perfect game. It's probably undeniably responsible for my favorite genre of games altogether. Like, I know Metroid came out before and it set the groundwork, but there's no like disputing the fact that one half of a Metroidvania is Castlevania, and it's because of this game. You know, some will argue that it's been done better since. I
But
kind of,
that's the point of forward progression.
well, yeah, but I kind of think this set an almost impossible bar. So the fact that some games have been done better since just like makes this genre what it is today. It's it's just beautiful. I mean, I'm just gushing now, but I think it's me. It's Alan. You know, I think I have to give it a 9.5. And I'm only taking a point 0.5 off because I do think that game over screen is absolute bullshit, because I'm so eager to get back into the game and it just slows everything down that, you know, that's the only fault that I can find with this game. 9.5, almost absolutely perfect. One of my favorite games of all time. And guys, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my cold, dead vampire heart that you picked this game for us to play.
Hell yeah. Which one should I play next? Because I've got the Advanced Collection too.
There's
I'm like eager to get into the next one. Like,
there's literally no bad choice there. I'm trying to think. Circle of the Moon. That's on the Advanced Collection. That's a good place to start because they only get better from there.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them queued up that I can play for sure. And then there's, like, you know, PS Plus has the Bloodstained, which is like kind of the spiritual successor, right?
Yeah, I've yet to play those, but they look well. I've played
all for it.
I think Circle of the Moon. I played. That's a very 8-bit style Castlevania like. Very cool.
Good stuff. Like, this has quickly become one of my favorite genres, and I've only played, you know, I guess maybe I dabbled in this one back in the day, but really only gained a full appreciation for it after really playing, you know, I guess I would consider them the best 3 Metroid games, and then, you know, this and, you know, a couple others, but God, it hooks you.
Beautiful. So I guess that's it then.
Yeah.
I think last time I did this, Brian did the sign off. So Sam, in the interest of fairness, fuck you, buddy. Where can people find our shit? Do the thing.
Okay, well, you can find us at Linktree. That's the simplest place to go. LANKTR.ee, and it's easier than finding the Upside Down Castle, because that's where you can find all of the upgrades. So we got the Patreon, the Discord, all of our social medias, the merch shop. Get a t-shirt, you know, exploit the jank.
There you go. Exploit the jank.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a one-stop shop for everything, so we don't have to list everything. But what do we got next week, boys? I never know. I always think I know, and then I don't, because I don't write anything down or pay attention.
We have discussed this, and we
as I said in my last email.
Yeah, we have as per my last email.
As per my last, yeah.
We have a couple of games on the board right now. You guys are going to do Fire Emblem because you both started playing that.
Sure.
That could be coming up next week. We also have Professor Layton on the back burner, which Alan is playing, so I might do that with him unless Sam can jump in there quick.
Oh, I finished it.
I can get him.
Oh, did you?
Oh, man. I'm really behind.
Finished it today.
All right, then. Well, looks
buddy.
like we'll have an episode of Professor Layton in the Curious Village coming up soon. And, of course, we've all agreed to play a game that Alan said he didn't have time for, but started, cried, and got into. We're going to be doing The Last of Us either next week or the week after.
There you go. There you go.
That's a big reveal.
The big reveal.
I know. this is a game I know somebody in our community absolutely loves, and the person who got me to play it, and he'll finally get to hear my full thoughts on it.
Awesome.
If he still listens, I like.
Of course he does. Nobody leaves Retrotopia. The gates are closed once you're in. Guys, first of all, thanks once again to all the Patreons who voted for Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Thanks to all the Patreons who didn't vote for Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We love all of you equally. But this was a lot of fun. Brian, Sam, it's been a pleasure, as always.
Yeah, absolutely. And just want the Patreons to know we love some of you more equally than others.
I love it. So, Brian, you got anything?
No, this is it. This is everything I got. You've heard my thoughts on Symphony of the Night. I never thought I'd finish it, and I'm going to watch hockey tonight.
Go Leafs.
Game over.